jet ski with the squeals and the drops. P1E goes hard till it pops. Cannonball, don't trust a cop. Johnny Spotswood just don't know when to stop. Yeah, and if you don't like it, you better take your ass up to the snooty box, cause this is the loud spot. Okay, see you later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian, out of Oklahoma City. We got Sam McIntosh joining us tonight for the show. Happy to have you, Sam. And then we got Maddie from Rev Theory, an awesome band. What is up, dude? Cheers.
Yo, 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 cheers.
Yeah, that's right. Cheers. Cheers with the water. Boring life. Boring life.
You can't do that. It's bad luck.
Bad luck.
That's all right.
No, there's a little bit in here.
Spit on myself. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
good job. Good job. That kind of shit.
Rev Theory is on the podcast. Excited to have you guys here. Excited to have you here. Not you guys. Excited to have you here on the show, man. You guys are coming up with some new songs recently, huh?
Yeah, we've been over the past few years kind of off the radar, but had been recording a bunch of stuff just, in secret. And I have a hard drive full of tracks that I've produced or co-produced with people, and we just decided at the end of 2019 that we wanted to just start releasing stuff on our own, basically independent.
Yeah. Is it getting a little weird because the talk is starting to happen? You're like, oh hell no, don't you start this stuff again. Don't you start this stuff, because I know in our camps with the, especially for the touring side, we're starting to have that talk. And I was like, just prepare. If they do, guys, we don't give up. We keep pushing. And if they do shut stuff down again, what we do is we go back to the studio and record more.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I definitely, a lot of talk on both sides. It's like touring, like not touring, like what's going on, like what's the world going to be like? It's evolving constantly, and day to day, you don't know what's going to happen. But I mean, I basically about a decade ago decided I wanted to like learn how to produce so that I could do everything in house. Yeah. And that's the stuff you're hearing over the previous record, and all the new releases over the past year and a half are just things that I produced or co-produced with people, because we decided after paying a bunch of money in studios all the time that like, wait, we can do this ourselves. Like, why are we paying all this money to do this? So
yeah.
And there is something about collaborating with people, but there's also a side of it where it's like, if you're the artist and you can reflect the art through the recording, and you have a vision and you can do that yourself, then why not do it? So I grew up listening to punk rock, and it was all DIY. That was kind of the mantra. So I wanted to embrace that on my end. So that's why I started doing that.
Do you only produce stuff for Rev Theory, or do you also do other bands contact you to maybe produce some of their stuff as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with artists developing and doing demos and stuff like that. And I've done some stuff for TV and film and trailer music. And I started to get into remixing artists. So I've released a couple things under the name Plastic Cinema. And I have 2 remixes under that name, and I'm going to keep doing stuff under that. And then it's going to kind of evolve into a more like cinematic, electronic, with like real instrument elements infused. So it's kind of an infusion of rock, electronic, and whatnot.
Yeah, the only thing Sebastian's done is sing in the shower, and he thinks that's a hit song. Usually.
It's
a hit.
Just put the mic in the shower, bro.
Yeah, he's like, let it go.
Oh, damn.
No, that's not
Let
a hit.
Remix.
Yeah, Let It Go remix. It's called Go to Hell.
Let's go talk. So how many albums does Rev Theory have, like studio albums? Is it just 4? Is it coming on 5?
So our first album was Truth is Currency, when we were called Revelation Theory.
Right. Okay.
Then we changed our name, and then we had Light It Up, followed by Justice. And then we did an EP after that. We had like an acoustic EP. We released another full length called The Revelation, which I produced that album also. And so, 4 full lengths. And then we've been kind of compiling a body of work that I plan to release as a full length.
Are you getting into the reimagining of songs like a lot of artists do after they have so much catalog that they're like, hey, let's go back to this old song, but let's put a spin on it and, remix it and do it, either go down tempo, up tempo, whatever. Because I've seen it. I think the best body of work that I've seen from that is Fallen in Reverse. I think I liked when he went back and started, making it piano. We also talked on our 100th episode, again, with Jared from Bowling for Soup, where he did piano versions of all his songs. It's like dinner with Bowling for Soup. And so you listen to it, it could be classy enough to listen to at dinner.
That's cool.
And you're like, wait, I know this tune. I know this song, so sure. 1985 coming on.
There's definitely been a lot of discussion about that type of thing. And I've been messing with acoustic arrangements of some older, heavier songs and just messing with that stuff. So I wouldn't rule that out for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to go back to. Well, I can't say it's easy, but it's definitely something. Yeah. What's Sebastian? Sebastian has this. Sebastian just got lost on us. He's like,
I know everything.
I was
thinking about that shower song.
One of the main questions I wanted to ask you, and I don't watch wrestling anymore like I used to. I used to be a big like WWE or even back when it was called WWF. But the band is it someone's intro song?
Randy Orton. Yeah.
And is it still?
I assume, honestly, I don't really keep up with that stuff. And, the last thing we did was the WrestleMania performance for their 30th anniversary.
Okay.
But I assume it is. But it's funny because it's always been a joke with not a joke that we did that, but literally anytime we'll post anything, someone will comment voices, Randy Orton. It doesn't matter what it is. You can be like, we're giving money to children for charity. And they're like, voices, Randy Orton. Yeah. Can't get away from it.
How do you even get into that? Like, did you guys, did someone from your team contact them? Or did that wrestler just like you and like, hey, I want Rev Theory's voices song to be my, and then like permission, like how does that even start to form?
Honestly, I think it was our label and just connections, and they liked the music, and they had licensed our track Hell Yeah for WrestleMania, the year it came out, and then it just kind of like, a relationship kind of ensued from that, and they were like, hey, we need a theme song for this guy, and we were like, cool, yeah, we'll do it.
So do you guys get paid for that? Like, is that something that you guys get, or is the label just
label gets paid?
So that's why you don't even know if you're using it or not. You'd be
it's more of it.
There's
a lot of things you do, which looking back on it, it's like, damn, I wish we had gotten paid for some of the stuff. But there's a lot of things you do where it's like, oh, it's exposure, if EA wants to use your song on Madden, you're like, hell yeah, like let's put it on there. Like you don't really think about the paycheck because the exposure is payment enough. So
we were just talking about this literally before you got on, and I was talking about I just watched something with Jelly Roll. You know who Jelly Roll is? Big sultry R&B.
I don't know, but I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, check out Jelly Roll. He's a pretty good artist. But he was talking about label and label support, and the thing is I'm on both sides as management, and also I've worked labels too, and I can tell you that there's a give and take, and the main thing is bands just don't have the money to market themselves and compete with all these thousands of other artists that are out there too. So that's where the label comes involved. They have the money, not all of them, but most of the big ones do. They have the money the pushing power, so you can get famous. So then you can go back and start making and start renegotiating your contracts better and start, actually keeping some of your royalties. But I told him it's like a give and take. And if you got that advance money, you got that advance money. So, you just got to have a good team to not spend a lot of money on your recordings. Like, a good example, I like to find bands. Yeah. I find bands that know how to self-record for the most part, because, or at least track most of their stuff. And then we'll have someone mix and master it. Like say Kane Churko, Five Finger Death Punch, that guy, Jack's Diaries.
Yeah.
They record all their stuff, track all their stuff, and then we send it to him for mixing and mastering. And sometimes, maybe he'll change a couple things here and there, but it'll save a band tons of money. But we still need that money to market because that's the hard one, and there's no return on investment on advertising. So
yeah. It's. I mean, if you're talking about Foo Fighters or Green Day and WWE like want to use your song, they're like, yeah, you can use it for fucking real money. But when you're coming up, it's like, wait, they want to license, they want to use our song and like promote us. I mean,
okay, we'll take it.
Take that free promotion, and
It's
definitely good exposure.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? I hope somebody. Yeah, no, I'm never mind. But yeah, I could say even though I'm not an artist or in a band. I am in a band, but a crappy band. We're not going to talk about it.
Thrash Panda.
Thrash Panda. Thrash Panda. In fact, we'll have Rev Theory write the next Thrash Panda song, and we'll just
give him a skeleton. Give him a skeleton of like 2 beats every 4 measures, and then he'll write something.
I want that furry panda helmet.
Yeah, I know. We're not even really supposed to talk about it.
I'll do it for that. If you send me one of those, I'll do a track for you.
I will send you a furry. I think I buy it on Walmart.com.
I want a legit one, man. It has to be legit. Like,
wait, are you in Sacramento?
I'm in San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Okay, we're rolling through San Diego in September with Animal Sun and Cannibal Kids.
Cool.
So, and I'm from Yuma. So I went to Marine Corps in San Diego. And I lived down in PB for the longest time.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, not the longest time. Enough to say I'm not living here anymore. It's way too expensive. Bye-bye.
Oh my God, it is.
But no, the band's not from California though, right? The band is from Massachusetts.
Well, it's kind of scattered. I'm originally from outside Philadelphia.
Okay.
Rich was from North Jersey. Dave's from outside Boston, and Julian is from Vancouver, Canada. So, those 3 guys went to school together in Mass, and that's why most, sources will say we started in Mass, and then we when I joined the band, it was the final. I was the final piece to form Rev Theory, and that was in New York. Okay, so I was living in New York at the time.
Okay, I'm sure you probably asked this, or people probably asked you this a bunch of times, but it's the first time I'm asking it. So I kind of want to know how did that happen? How did you go, or the band go from Massachusetts? You join in New York. Like, how did that all form back in late '90s, early 2000s?
Craigslist.
Yeah. Was Craigslist even around back then?
I don't even know.
Maybe
Facebook was barely around back then.
No,
MySpace
had
it was all MySpace.
Yeah,
that's right.
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace. We had a MySpace. MySpace was pretty dope. I don't know.
Hey, I'm thinking about going back. Yeah, I'm going back.
It's not the same thing anymore.
You kids customize your page all cool and
you kids will never know. You don't understand. You will never know the 56K modem dial up and MySpace.
And then whatever.
Yeah, and then trying to download porn in like 4 minutes forever.
buffering.
You're like,
how am I?
Come on,
here? Come on.
Come on, really?
Come on.
Come on. Hey, this is a classy show. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Very classy.
It's very real. With shared, everyone has that experience if they grow up.
No, that's also true. That's not a lie. That's
not a lie.
I'm watching
Buffering, loading.
But can you go back and take us to how that whole band even started?
Yeah,
and how that happened?
So those 3 guys had played they basically were a cover band in college.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, played shows for beer and whatnot. And